The good news. What's the good news? I don't know about you, but today's gospel makes me feel very uncomfortable and raise many questions. Am I the rich man? Am I Lazarus? What is Jesus saying to you and me personally today? So one interpretation is that all the rich people in this life will be automatically go to hell. And all the poor in this life will be automatically go to heaven. What do you think about that interpretation? I hope none of us think about that way. And if we buy in this interpretation, then we are saying that Jesus encouraged the poor to be poor, which contradicts to his mission. Jesus came to liberate people from the oppression and the unjust system that caused them to be hungry and poor. So what is the correct interpretation? What is Jesus saying to you and me today? Jesus has one message for you and me: to help Lazarus at our door. To help Lazarus at our door. Both the rich and the poor will be judged by not what we have, but how much we love. As Jesus taught us, the greatest commandment is to love God, love neighbors, and ourselves. So let's look at the parable of the rich man and Lazarus carefully. Jesus told the parable in the great details and showed the contrast between the rich man and Lazarus. The contrast has to do not so much with being rich or poor, although it's real, but with two types of distance. Two types of distance between the rich man and Lazarus in this life and life after. In this earthly life, the distance between the rich and Lazarus was so close, so close. Jesus told us that Lazarus was lying at the rich man's door, so close, at his door. But in the next life, which is life after death, the distance between the two became so far that Abraham said, "Between us and you, a great chasm is established to prevent anyone from crossing who might wish to go from our side to yours, and from your side to ours." Why so close, yet so far? Have you ever felt that way? When you so close to someone, next to someone, but yet you feel so far from that person. And these two types of distance are so interconnected. The close distance in this life between the rich man and Lazarus caused the far distance next life. Why is that? Not because of their social class status being rich or poor, but because the rich man chose to be indifferent. Because the rich man chose to be indifferent. Being indifferent by definition means I don't care. Physically, the rich man was so close to Lazarus, but emotionally and spiritually, however, the rich man chose to be far distant from Lazarus. Now, one might argue, maybe the rich man did not see Lazarus at his door. Maybe the rich man did not see him. But the story revealed that very clearly. Jesus even said, he did see Lazarus at his door. He even knew his name. The story told us, when he saw Abraham far off and Lazarus at his side, he cried out, "Father Abraham, have pity on me. Send Lazarus." So he even knew his name. "Send Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue." Notice he knew Lazarus by name. Clearly, the rich man saw Lazarus at his door. I wonder, what did the rich man see in Lazarus? Did he see Lazarus covered with sores, who would gladly have eaten his fill from the scraps that fell from his table? Did the rich man see the dogs come and lick Lazarus' sores? What did he see in Lazarus? Did he see Lazarus being lazy? Or being worse, or make it worse, being punished by God? Did he see himself working hard and deserve to dress in purple garment, which is the wealthiest garment back then, and fine linens, and dine sumptuously each day? What did he see in Lazarus? I have no idea. One thing we know for sure is that he saw Lazarus at his door, longing to eat the scraps that fell from his table. Yet, he chose to ignore Lazarus. He chose to be indifferent. The parable showed the contrast between the two types of distance. Between the close distance of the rich man and Lazarus in this life, and the far distance between the two in the next life. The distance has to do with one major factor. To love or to be indifferent. The opposite of love is not to hate, but to be indifferent. God is love. Those who love connect and share life with God in this life and the next. Those who don't love create the far distance, and distance we call hell, in this life and the next, as the story of the rich man. So, what does this parable has to do with you and me today? What is Jesus saying to you and me today? Jesus has one message for us: to help Lazarus at our door. Now, as you know, that society encourage, seduce, and challenge us to have a better life. And being rich help us to have a better life. This sounds so wonderful and convincing. As a matter of fact, Jesus does want us to have a better life. Jesus does want us to live and live fully, as he claims, "I have come to give you life and have it abundantly." So Jesus does want us to have abundant life. Jesus does not want us to be poor. Let's make it clear. At the same time, in today's gospel, Jesus warns and challenges us to watch out for wealth. Wealth can make our hearts become indifferent. As in the story of the rich man today, both you and I know that wealth is a double-edged sword. Wealth is a double-edged sword. Wealth can help us to live fully and generously, but it can make us become more self-centered and indifferent to those who suffer around us. Now, you and I, we might ask, well, what can you and I do to avoid being indifferent? How can we avoid this being indifferent? Jesus gave us an answer. Help Lazarus at your door. Our wealth, whether materially, emotionally, or intellectually, are gifts from God and are meant to share with those who are poor and marginalized in society. When you and I die, you know that we all die, right? Jesus won't ask us how many Sunday masses you have gone, which is very important, and how much time we have spent in prayers, which is also very important. Jesus will ask us only one question. How much do you love me? by loving Lazarus at our door. So what can you and I do concretely? This is a question for you and me to pray over this week. I don't know about you, I can easily get into the mode of living comfortably and being indifferent, even as a priest. Now, one concrete way that I find to be helpful is to have a few direct experiences and contacts with the poor each year. To have a few direct experiences and contacts with the poor each year. Here at Newman, we have many opportunities to do that, to volunteer, feeding the homeless at Father Cho Village, donate food to the homeless students. Here at USCSD, if you notice when you walk into the church or when you walk out, you see a little black bin. It has a little food pantry. There's a student here. They try to collect food donation to help the homeless student at UCSD. To go on spring break immersion in Tijuana. So these are the few opportunities. These direct encounters with the poor and those who suffer help us to live out our faith and avoid being indifferent. Let us just say amen.